Ladies and gentlemen, today we're at the Newmar Service Center in Napanee, Indiana, and today we have a special guest. It's an honor to be hanging out with Casey Tubman, president of Newmar. How you doing today, sir?
I'm good. Thanks for having me today.
It's an absolute honor, and the viewers gave you some very difficult questions.
I saw that.
And you're ready to answer some of the hardest questions they gave you?
We'll do the best we can. I'm good at giving answers. I'll give you the honest answer. You may not like the answer, is what I always say.
Well, I don't know if you're going to like these questions, but we're going to throw some hardballs at you.
All right.
And I heard you've got a really cool coach that you want to show us.
We do want to show it off. It's a 2025 London Aire Onyx package. It's also an all blackout, so it's got mostly blacks in it, and then the blackout Onyx package along with it. So really good looking.
Yes, sir. Now, before we take a look at your coach, I want to address one of the comments and concerns that the viewers out there had regarding the new Newmar Service Center here in Napanee, Indiana.
Sure.
They were talking about the scheduling and the backlog of getting in here. What is the current availability if someone wants to bring their Newmar for service here?
Sure. We call it the mothership. You'll see that in the comments. We have 50 bays, just to give you an idea. So we have 50 bays constantly rolling. We do fill up. We try to get warranty people in first. We save a certain amount of spots for retail. I saw some of the comments, 11 months, 12 months. There's been times where we've been that far out. There's been times where we're a couple weeks out. It ebbs and flows. I just asked Matt Utley, our lead here, and he said, hey, we've got a couple openings just 2 weeks out. Again, when people are looking, they need to call. Best thing they can do is, if inside their coach, right next to the driver, is a picture of our brand specialist. That's their person. Call that brand specialist, talk to them, tell them what's going on. If you need to get in because it's an emergency, if you need to get something done before you head out on a long road trip, we'll try to fit you in and within those kind of openings that are coming. So again, there might be something that pushes out 11 months occasionally, but for the most part, we try to get people in as quick as we can.
Yes, sir. And do you only work on Newmars that are still under factory warranty, or what Newmars do you work on here?
No, we work on any Newmars. I know there's some others that have put a 10-year limit on. We haven't put a 10-year limit on. We actually have fifth wheels. I don't know if there's any in the campground today, but we get fifth wheels that we built, and we stopped building those in 2012, I believe, but those still show up for service. You know, you'll get a 2006, you'll get a 2001. We get older coaches. I think the oldest one I can remember was like a 98 or a 96, but all ages are welcome.
So if someone wants to get their Newmar in for service, they can give your team a call?
Call that brand specialist, work with them on timing. What can they do for you? If they're not able to help you directly, they'll send you down to scheduling and they'll take care of it there.
Awesome. Well, I've got a lot more really tough questions that I've got to ask you, but do you think we could take a look at your coach?
Yeah, let's just go and look across the street here at the campground. Again, we have 64 places here for people to park as they come for service, stay the night, stay the week, whatever it takes to get their service done. And many people know mine's located in the corner. It's kind of my spot, I guess. I park it in and customers come by and say hello. When I come in, I normally see if people are hanging out. The other night I came in, Monday night I think it was, I came in and there were about 12 of them between these two coaches right here. Awnings out, having a few beverages, just sitting around talking. So I came over and spent some time with them. It's a great way to meet customers. It's a great way to know what's going on. Are they happy with things? Are they not happy with things? And it is interesting. I tend to run into people. Now I'm 2 years in the job almost, and so you're starting to see familiar faces and be able to talk to them by name. So again, I really appreciate getting close to those consumers, and again, we want them to be happy. They're our customers. We want to make them happy.
Yes, sir. And everything here is very new and very clean. When was this Newmar Service Center and Campground built?
I'm going to give you my answer, and it may or may not be exactly correct, but I believe it was around 2019, plus or minus. It was before 2019 or in 2019. No longer than that.
Yes, sir. Now, this coach over here is really catching my attention.
So that is the coach. That is the London Aire, 2025 London Aire. Again, 45 foot, 605 diesel.
Yeah, this new Onyx package is really stunning. And we saw King Aire earlier with the Onyx package with a paint job that was just mind-blowing. You guys have been really stepping it up. But what's the story with this particular coach?
So there is a little bit of a background behind this. This is actually a Freightliner chassis. So it's London Aire, which we were building on Spartan chassis. This is the first year we went back and put it on a Freightliner chassis. We did that both the Essex and the London Aire. And so this coach was going to be the first one that rolled off the line. As we got closer, one of the engineers was like, oh, I'd really like to build one with the black wheels and do a blackout. And I was like, why not? I mean, we should have been doing this for 10 years now. We basically said, let's start figuring out, can we do it? What's it take? What are the pieces? What are the parts? Will Freightliner do it? Will Spartan do it? Because we can't offer it one versus the other. We didn't want to. So we worked through it. So this was called the Ghost unit. We were going to do it in all white, Once we decided to go blackout package, then we flipped it and did all black. And again, you can just barely see the colors in it, but there are 3 colors here. There's a black metallic base coat, then there's a charcoal metallic or a dark charcoal metallic, and then there's a light charcoal metallic for the stripes in the middle. A lot of times when you film it, it looks all black. People see it from a distance, it looks all black, but it is 3 colors. And again, this is the London Aire 25. It's 605 diesel, 20,000 pound towing, about 8,200 carrying capacity. So, I mean, everything you need in a motorhome, again, 45 foot. When you see the inside, you'll like that as well. It's almost an exact opposite flip. So when you see the inside, you'll see the difference.
Yes, sir, and I'm a big fan of the London Aire. Now I'm curious why you went to the Freightliner chassis, and is the Spartan K3 chassis still an option for the London Aire?
It is. So the Freightliner is standard, and the Spartan is the option to ask for. Our customers ask for both. That's really why we changed back. We had several customers come to us over the years saying, "I'd love to buy one of your Aires, right? Our luxury line, but it need to be on a Freightliner chassis." And so we just basically went back to Freightliner, who we would have been working with. We had them as an option where you can get Freightliner or Spartan across most of our line in the core diesels. And we just said, okay, if you're wanting to get back into that business, we'll open it up across the London and the Essex.
Yeah, very cool. Now, in the 2025 model London Aire, are the push button bay doors new, or was
I knew you were going to ask that question, and my guys are going to kill me for it. That is a special for my coach. I wanted to try it out, see how people talk about it, see how much noise we get about, oh, I'd like that on mine, I'd like that on mine, even on down the line, we looked at it all the way to Dutch Star to say, okay, could we do it? There's a lot of implications to that with the electronics inside, with the Silverleaf and the ATC control boards. We did it on the London Aire because it's similar to the Essex. As soon as we started looking at Mountain Aire and below, it's really hard to do, and we just said, you know what, we're not going to mess with it. It was a special on here. We've been asked, well, can I get that done? And I've said, sure, just realize the cost of those push buttons is equal to the upcharge of an Essex.
I understand it. Yeah, so you're a little bit of the guinea pig here.
I'm a little bit of a guinea pig, and you're going to see that throughout this coach, actually. There's several things that we did different on this coach than we've done on others. And again, my engineers like that idea of give us a space to kind of play with. And I was like, sure. We can't show it now because it's not dark out, but the lighting underneath is multicolor. Instead of just white, we have a knob inside that you can change for every color you want.
Very cool to see some of those cooler features that may appeal to some of the younger demographic that's getting into RVing in these high-end RVs. Now,
absolutely.
I want to ask you a lot of questions about the new changes for 2025, but I remember the last time I was here, Matt Miller was the president of Newmar, sure. And I know you took over here recently. When did you become the president of Newmar?
So I came to Newmar in August of 2022. Matt had been gone almost a year because there was an interim person in there, but I came in August of 22.
Okay, can you share a little bit about your background and
sure.
why you were chosen to be the president of Newmar?
So I have a background that's kind of split over 3 decades, let's say. I did a decade in engineering, and I worked for Whirlpool Corporation in appliances for about 25 years. I had worked for Case International Harvester, tractor design, and then Steelcase furniture. And then I went to Whirlpool, and I stayed at Whirlpool for a long time. Started out in engineering. Again, I had about 10 years across the 3 companies. Then I moved into marketing, basically branding, product development, sales, merchandising, and for about 10 years. And then I became a general manager and started running businesses for about 10 years. My last stint or assignment was in Italy, and I was running the marketing side of the business in Europe for Whirlpool. I came back, and right around that time, shortly after I got back, Winnebago called, said, hey, we have an opportunity. What do you think of this company, Newmar? I started doing some research and said, I really like the idea of it. It's a great company, great products. I loved to camp as a kid. I'm an outdoor person, literally always outside. And so I was like, it's a perfect fit. Then I look at the culture of the people and the small town. Again, we are based in Napanee, Indiana. I grew up in a town about half the size of Napanee, so even a smaller town, and it just was a good fit from a cultural standpoint.
I'm very impressed with the whole culture in this area. We stayed at the Amish Inn down the road last night. It's very refreshing. You definitely sense just the morals, just a lot of integrity in this community, very respectable community. But going back to this 25 London Aire here and talking about the different customizations now, does just the president of Newmar get to order push button bay doors on a London Aire, or is that something other people could order?
No, actually anybody can order, I won't say anything they want, but just about anything they want. And that's probably one of those that I'm stretching it further with my team, and sometimes they remind me that maybe I stretch too far, but I like to say yes to everyone, right? Somebody comes and says, well, can you do this? I'm always happy to say, let us look at it, let us figure it out. And so we've had several instances where, and in fact, London Aire is a good example. London Aire comes with a walk-in closet in certain models. We had a gentleman and his wife who wanted an Essex at our show a year ago, and he said, I'll buy this Essex if you will move the walk-in closet from the London Aire to this. My engineer was standing there, we both looked at it, kind of went, man, it looks like it's possible. Write up the order and let's try it. So we end up building that. They also added about 50 other things to that list, by the way. But they did end up buying it. We just had another one where we had a bunk model, and I know there were questions from the consumers asking about bunks. We have 7, if I remember right, 7 different bunk models. King Aire has one at the highest end, all the way down to, I believe, Ventana or Dutch Star, and different models in between. Superstar has one, Supreme Aire has one, London Aire has one. But anyway, this bunk model that we got asked for was a London Aire, but they wanted 2 full baths instead of a bath and a half.
I like their style. Yeah.
And we do have those models, but it wasn't on London Aire. So the guys are like, you know what, let us try it. Sure enough, figured it out, engineering got it done, and put it on, and they picked it up. We delivered it last week, if I remember right.
So 2 full bath bunk London Aire?
Yes.
Man, that's a coach that I think is going to be really sought after. I'm a huge fan of 2 full baths.
We do this where somebody orders a special. Then somebody talks to someone and they find out that they got that special, and then they order a special. And then after we get about 3 specials, we start saying, this probably needs to be a model in our line. We build a lot of different models. We have about 65 floor plans that we talk about. We could be 100 floor plans like we were a year or 2 ago. But the problem is the more floor plans and the more floor plans, it's just a lot more work to do versus, hey, let's sell that 65 that we know everybody loves, and then let them order their specials. And let's see what the specials are. And again, once we see the specials are really something that they want, just put it in the floor plan. So yeah, to your point, 2 full baths, bunk model, it's pretty much going to get added on to the floor plans.
Yeah, I think with more and more younger families RVing at this level, I think that's going to be very popular. But I'm looking forward to seeing more of your London Aire here. Can we walk around a little bit?
We sure can. Yeah, let me show you a little bit. So I just want to tell the viewers as they're watching, this coach is not set up as a show coach. This coach is the coach my wife and I take out with our 2 dogs. When I open these bay doors and start showing it, you're going to see all our stuff. It's not going to be picture perfect. But again, I'm okay with that. Just know why it maybe looks that way. So again, front end, you got your fridge, freezer, convertible. Let me roll it out here and you can actually see it. And a little bit of storage space to go with it. Water, beer. Again, fridge and freezer, convertible, able to do either or, set your temperatures right here on the side. Again, nice and easy to get to, perfect for your outdoor activities.
A great design with this shelf right here. Looks like you have a table, some extra rugs. Perfect area for that. And even a little detail spray up there. I like to see that.
I know you're a detailer.
Yes,
I keep
sir.
my detail spray in there. Storage. So you got just, again, a thin storage, but nice and easy. We've got 3 totes across with the different things. Mostly cooking utensils. Got the Blackstone under here and a little table. You saw the table over here.
Real RVer here. I like to see that. You're not just...
This is our working coach that we use. We're going to be up at Hearthside Grove. You mentioned that.
Yes, sir.
And so we're going to be up there July 14th through 17th. We'll be up there.
Very cool. And I just noticed is that almost a soft close basement door? Is that?
I didn't mention it earlier when we talked about these doors being special on this coach. The reason I do that is I'm an early morning person. I get up. We were at the expo in Nashville a couple weeks ago, and I was out working by 7 a.m. I had my wife and the dogs with me, so I sneak out in the morning. If I have to get in the bays, I can shut these, soft close, and I'm not waking up her and everybody else around me. You know, a lot of these doors, they're regularly a slam door. These are not a slam door.
Now, is that soft close an option?
The soft close is an option when you get the push button. It is a conversation that we're trying to have to say, hey, should we just do the soft close only? You don't really need the push button. You do, in this case, this is how it works, but could you do it just like you said? Just give me the soft close. You don't have to give me the push button. I'll still latch it to open it, but how do I get the soft close? So something we're working on.
And I overheard recently that you made some improvements on the bay doors on some of the higher level models as well?
Correct. We changed suppliers. These are the MORride doors now. And again, we also redesigned the seals across our line, actually. So even the slam ones, they shut better as well. So just continuous improvement.
Yes, sir. And what year did you make that improvement?
The seal was 24, sorry. The doors would be on 25s. Honestly, I got to look at what each one of these has. Power washer, always a good thing to have. Again, another power tray.
So you wash your own coach yourself?
Yeah.
A black coach. You're a brave person.
Yes, exactly. So the other thing is, you can see it, but one of the things we found from a customer, we were at our rally a year ago, they had a small fence section for their dog. And again, we have 2 dogs and they like to be outdoors, and we don't want them roaming free, let's say. So we bought this. It's a bunch of sections. We would literally just stake it out by the coach, and that way we can be outside, people can come over, and they're kind of kept inside that. So just ideas we get from other RVers.
Yes, sir, and with that shelving, it makes it very convenient to store that fencing. You got your lawn chairs, your bucket.
And again, these power trays go all the way to both sides, right? So you can open them up from both sides.
And I've got to ask you, were you an RVer before you started working at Newmar?
So I was an RVer in terms of camping, yes. Pull behind trailers, bumper trailer I call them, or a towable. My kids grew up doing that, and I grew up in that type as well. My dad built our first motorhome. We had 2 motorhomes, then we went to trailers. The first motorhome was basically a van that he converted, so call it a B-van conversion. The second one was a bread truck, because I was born as the 4th kid, and he needed another place to sleep a kid. Bought a bread truck, built bunk beds in it, and that was our camper for a couple years. Then when I can remember, I wasn't too old, but we moved to a travel trailer, and we used that throughout my childhood. And so my kids, I have a truck, so I pull a travel trailer. When I came here, I wanted to start using one of these right away. First or second week, I asked them, okay, do we have units around? We had a London Aire at the time, a London Aire, 2016 actually. And so they pulled it out, got it ready, and I started using that and staying in that. And then last year we rolled into the King Aire. This year we rolled back to a London Aire.
So you've been an RVer, but
not quite this.
You stepped up quite a bit here recently.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
Yes,
I'm going to keep showing you again. This is more storage. Again, here, what's nice is you do have the outside vacuum. So if you need to vacuum something out, you got the pieces and parts, you can connect it in and go. I threw my Blue Ox in there so it wouldn't be hanging out. But again, just storage. The last compartment is the one I really want to show you. Again, one of your, well, 2 things. Safety, got my fire extinguisher,
yes,
one of 4 or 5 that I keep in the coach. But this is one that, again, your viewers, your comments coming in about the wiring, right? We stepped up our wiring this year. And again, feedback from consumers that we got at a show last year, a couple times, we got feedback that our wiring was more of a nest, let's say. And I said, yep, you know what, I see that, and let's fix it. Paul White, head of engineering, came in, same thing, said we can fix that. Tom Lane, a few of our guys got together, did a really nice job cleaning this up. And so you can see we keep a protective plexiglass over it, but you can see through that hopefully. Easy to get to, with the turn screws here. But basically it shows all your different wiring, it labels what they are, it shows the connections. You have a few fuses up here that you could change if needed, but the main thing here is they're labeled. So if something's not working inside, you can come out here and check if you have power. It's more for the technician to help with, but we have a lot of do-it-yourselfers and they get very frustrated with it. Now they shouldn't get frustrated. They should be able to come out here, look for the label, check the connection, see if there's voltage at it. If there's not, okay, then we know where to go look.
So this is new for 2025?
2025, we put it across all the models. Most are in this compartment where it was kind of an unused space, but there are some where we may not have this space available and they go this direction along the side, but they're usually located right back here towards the rear wheel.
And this is in all models, or?
All models, Baystar Sport through King Aire, all of them got changed.
We had a chance to tour the factory with some of your team members, and they were showing us how this all comes together, and they definitely mentioned, cleaning up wiring for 2025 was a huge priority. So
absolutely.
When I saw that question in the comments and saw what you guys are doing, it's great to see you already, ahead of the curve, getting that stuff fixed as well. And we've got a lot more really hard questions that they asked that I've still got for you.
We're gonna keep answering.
Yeah, you're not done yet, sir.
No, I'm sure we're not.
Emergency egress, or something really important to me.
All of ours have this. Again, safety first. You saw I have the fire extinguisher in there. We want to make sure people are safe. They have an in and out in the rear as well as the front, as well as on the other side for the bedroom window. So multiple points of exit to get out if they need to.
Is the emergency egress store standard on some models, or what models does this come on?
This is standard. Again, we want to make sure people are safe.
Coming around to the back of the coach, even though this is on the Freightliner chassis, it's still going to have the 605 Cummins X15?
Still 605 Cummins, yep.
And towing capacity on this coach?
20,000 pound towing capacity.
Anything else new for the 2025 in the power plant area? Or back
No,
of the
not
coach?
in the power plant area. Again, we try to black out the whole thing. The only thing we're still missing is this right here, is the chrome tailpipe. And again, that's a little bit harder. We're waiting for Cummins to help us turn that over.
I think with the amount of heat that generates, that makes sense. It'd be harder to black that out.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually, but we were trying to bring it to market and we weren't willing to wait for that one small part.
Understandable. Coming down the passenger side, this is going to be more the business side of the coach, and I'm going to sneak under here just to open this up.
So again, you've got your area for water hookups and the drain hookups here. You've got the macerator toilet, so you can pump out with the actual Sanicon pump. And again, you've got your water hookup with the hose reel with the power on it to bring it back in, make it a little easier. Shower to clean things up if needed. Again, filters for the water going in. Then of course you have the readout here to tell you everything that's going on, what your levels are, and if you want to have it autofill or manually take care of it. And again, things for winterization and cleanouts, everything you need in one place. And we go to the electric bay, cord reel power up here on the door to be able to move it in and out. You got an extra electrical outlet, a couple of them actually. Nice and easy for, again, reeling it back in. This is going to be your Oasis. Not much to see except the Oasis itself. Now we start getting into storage. So this is the same storage bay as the other side.
I'm going to hit the switch right here, very conveniently located on the bay door.
So if you remember, we saw the chairs on the other side. Now they're coming out this side. In case you like to paddleboard, nice inflatable paddleboard.
Yes, sir.
Bought that when we were on a rally trip last year and we were near the water, and I was like, you know what? We need to go out paddleboarding.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
I said I like to be outside. I do. Now we get to the exciting stuff. Oh no, sorry, next one's exciting. This is again the same bay that goes across the triple. Again, power in and out, but it's basically, you can slide out either side. Now, here you go, lithium system. Again, I think we're partnered up with Lithionics now. So again, and this has the 640 amp hour batteries standard. I upgraded to the 960, adding the extra battery. 2 3,000 watt inverters, and again the BMS system as well. So very robust system from our sister company Lithionics.
Very impressive technology, and I've got some more questions for you about the lithium system on behalf of the viewers, but I'm really excited to see inside of this coach. Do you think we could take a look at the interior?
Let's go.
So this is a totally different style interior than we've seen in other Newmars. What's new here?
Brand new for 2025. So this is the new Summit, as we call it. We changed our cabinet colors throughout the whole line, but we brought white, I'll call it, but we call it Summit. This also has what's called a suede finish, which is a little bit different than a matte and not a gloss, so we call it suede. And again, that's new for this year.
And what floor plan is this coach?
So this is a London Aire 4551. Again, bath and a half model, theater seating up front with another couch across from it, and then the dinette in the middle with the kitchen.
Now, before we look around more in this coach, you may kick me out after I ask you these questions, because I'm going to throw some hardballs on behalf of the viewers. Now, some of the different people in the comments section mentioned that they thought that Newmar quality was sliding. Have you seen an uptick in warranty claims, or have you seen anything that shows that there's some sort of quality decline at Newmar?
No, it's a perfect question. I'm happy to answer it. I'm actually glad to answer it, because a lot of people on the internet can type in what they want. No factual base. With this one, no, I actually have the numbers. We've been analyzing them more and more this recently, and I was asking for longer term trends. It just happened to be that this is a topic that's near and dear to my heart. Our quality has not degraded. People will say, oh, it's gotten worse since Winnebago bought us. It's not true. Our quality is as good as it's ever been, let's say.
Is there any uptick in warranty claims or anything?
No uptick in warranty claims. Again, I'm looking at the data and we're watching for things to go down as well as go up. We take that data, we feed it back. There's nothing right now that is upticking to say, hey, this is getting worse, or this is a quality issue you need to be feeding back. We have things that we're working on. I'm never going to say we don't. Continuous improvement is the words I use with my team. We can always be better. We kind of like to lead. We're competitive around here, let's say, and we like to lead and be the benchmark of quality, same as the customer service center we talk about here. Again, it's a benchmark in the industry.
Yes, sir. And when we walked around the factory today and met different employees, I can really sense that pride of workmanship and the integrity amongst your workforce. There's some very passionate people there that are really, you can just tell the way they're working, really putting in work. So I've got to tip my hat to you and your team. Now, I've got to keep going with the hard questions. Bunk model floor plans. A lot of younger RVers are starting to RV with children. And we talked a little bit about that earlier, but how many bunk models is Newmar building every year?
So we currently have 8 different bunk models with what I'll call bunk beds, right? 2 bunks on the side here, 2 bunks in the models. Everything from King Aire at the high end down to, and again, I believe it's Ventana. So kind of throughout the line. London Aire has a model with it. Supreme Aire on our Super Cs, so we have them in there as well. We also then have models where we've added the drop-down bunk, right? A lot of models have that across the industry, and we've added that into both the Baystar and Ventana.
And how do you decide what to build?
So we work with a couple different things. One, we talk to our consumers. Two, we work with our dealers. We follow competitive trends, and we follow trends outside the industry. So to your point, even outside the industry, we're looking for things to innovate around and see where consumers are going. So is that younger consumer, is that family want to be outdoors more? Great. We need to provide coaches that meet their needs.
One of the questions a lot of the Super C folks out there were asking about the Newmar is it's on the M2 112 chassis right now. Why would it not be on like the Freightliner Cascadia or a more heavy duty chassis?
We designed actually two products at the time we brought Super Cs out. We introduced a 106 and a 112, both on the M2. At the time, those were the chassis of choice by our team. And again, for the different weights, for the different lengths, it made sense. Again, we know our Super C line needs to continue to grow, and that's something we're working on. I would say, we will continue to look at and evaluate what those chassis are.
Got to throw all the hardball questions at you. Folks are asking about the price increases. What is causing the price increases here at Newmar?
Sure, and we, I think the comments were the fact that over the past several years, they've seen increases year over year, and some have been larger than other years. I think everything you buy now from 2019 to now is 3 times more expensive in some cases. I was reading an article the other day, and it was talking about different foods and where you're buying, and I mean, some were 300% more. I don't think any of our coaches have gone 300% yet, but you never know. I think what we would say is, look, chassis have gone up immensely. If you look at that inflation, that has been rolled through. Supply chain had increases across many things. Even just the fact that there was some consolidation of suppliers increased our costs. We basically take those costs and we move them through to the consumer. Some things we try to offset as best we can. We're always doing different changes to try to find cost efficiencies, let's say. But at the same time, again, we're continuing to add to our coaches as well. So we talk about the upgrades of the newer coaches. Those take money to do, and as we do those, that raises that price. We still feel like we have a great value for people to come in and experience us, Baystar Sport or a Baystar, even up, Northern Star is a new model we brought this year. Entry-level diesel, we actually lowered the price of that, so as people say our prices go up, that price has actually gone down year over year. We added all-tile floor to it that didn't have it in its predecessor, so we upgraded the coach and we lowered the MSRP on it. So again, we're doing everything we can to help people and make sure they get a good value. I would also say, yes, there's some like a Dutch Star has gone up, but it's still the best-selling coach in the industry for Class A diesels. The King Aire, the value you get with King Aire, you can go out, you can buy a 4Travel, you can buy a Newell, you can buy a Prevost conversion. You're going to pay a whole lot more for that than you are for a King Aire, and we're going to give you pretty much a great coach. I think there's always going to be a discussion about pricing, what we're doing, what we're not doing. Everybody wants a better deal. We're going to do the best we can for them.
Yes, sir. It's understandable, and it's supply and demand. So you're taking a risk building these coaches. Somewhat uncertain times in the industry, and I know a lot of RV companies did not survive through that 08, 09 era. You're taking the risk, so I respect that. You can set the price.
We want to stay in business, and we want to offer a good value to our customers.
Yes, sir.
No question. But again, I like to say we are a luxury manufacturer. So again, whatever model they pick, they're going to feel like they're in a luxurious home. Hopefully they're home away from home.
So I've got to ask you a question I brought up in a recent video that viewers were concerned about. Newmar went from a 200-gallon diesel fuel tank to 165-gallon in their flagship King Aire in 2023. What is the reasoning behind that?
So a couple reasons. The reason and then the rationale, let me say. So the reason was with the 20,000-pound front axle, we were starting to get heavy on the weight in the front end, and we know we want to design coaches that are for the user, let's say, right? You need to have a driver, you need to have a passenger, your dog, you're going to have water, you're going to have fuel. You want to be able to carry stuff to take with you, like your Blackstone, as I taught, things of that nature. We also, as a company, have always put an extra safety factor in for weight. And again, just the company that the Millers ran for many years and Newmar has become, we want to make sure we're more than adequately equipped for that. And so in 22, I guess it would be, we started honing in on that number and started getting below our factor that we like to be at. And so the engineer said, hey, looking at all the different areas, the way we can back that weight off is we can take some out of the fuel capacity. They then checked with the sales, and the sales checked with dealers, and we talked to some consumers to see how much they're driving. And basically, they came back and said, it'll be okay. Again, you're talking about someone not taking a stop for 1,000 miles. I don't know too many people that get in their coach and drive straight for 1,000 miles without making a stop. Again, I go back to, that's still one of our best-selling luxury models. We have many people come in and they want that best of the best, and so it's a King Aire. Again, if we start getting feedback, let's say over time, where 3, 4, 5 people say, hey, I'm not buying it because of this, okay, let's have that conversation again. But right now, we aren't hearing that. We did hear it from you and from the couple people that wrote into you, absolutely, and we'll continue to monitor it.
Yes, sir, and I know you did a huge redesign on the King Aire in 21, I believe, which really took the interior to another level.
Absolutely.
Adding quartz countertops and just all kinds of high-end features, so I can see where there's definitely a give and take, and I respect being on the cautious side of not being overweight, so I do respect that. And with that new King Aire paint job that we saw, I don't think you're gonna have any trouble selling the new King Aire.
No, it's pretty fabulous, isn't it?
I'm a paint guy, and that new paint job really...
I'm sure the guys told you more about it than I can, but that was an investment that we made over the last year, getting ready for it, getting ready for the launch this year. It was kind of the showstopper at the dealer meeting to show the dealers. That one sold very quickly at the dealer meeting. We've had several orders since. Again, just at the show recently, we had several customers come in, and they are all opting for that Ultra Luxe paint configuration that you saw. And then several of them are putting the Onyx package on with it, and it is just really good looking.
I'm a big paint guy myself, and I know the cost that goes into all those details is just over the top. And I've noticed some of the coaches at the higher end level stripping back on the paint schemes as well. So I really appreciate you stepping up that in another level, and I understand there's a give and take. There's one other question about appliances. Someone mentioned, and you've got a little bit about appliances. So what's the quality of the appliances?
And the question was about an induction cooktop, which is a higher end appliance that's come to the market more in the last 10 years, and it's become more and more popular. We are putting induction cooktops. I'll show you. So you have the induction cooktop here standard in most of our coaches. Again, from about I believe the Newmar up, you will get this induction cooktop. You also can actually take this out, take it outside and plug it in and cook outside, which is great. But again, that's as new of technology as you can get in cooking at this point in time. Of course, we add inside the covers, we have the cutting boards. Then as we talk about appliances, again, Whirlpool brand here, near and dear to my heart, of course, but it's a convection oven microwave. So it's not just your normal microwave. You can cook things in this like you would in an oven. So again, pretty high end of appliances. You look over here, again, French door refrigerator full of my stuff. Sorry, you probably don't want to see that. Now, something you haven't seen probably is the dishwasher. And again, we talk about engineering and my coach being a little bit different. This is an 18-inch, basically a lot of townhomes, smaller luxury condos, they'll have this 18-inch. It's a standard dishwasher, right? Lower rack, upper rack, instead of the dish drawer, right? Most of the time you see a dish drawer.
Yes, sir.
We wanted to try one of these, something I have at my home actually in our lower basement bar, and so we wanted to try having this in here. So far so good. We have used it on a trip, and actually we showed it the first time at the expo in Nashville, and we had a woman already order one. So again, something new for us to try.
What else is cool and unique about this 2025?
So let me show you this, and again, this isn't unique to my coach. This is actually an option that we offer many people, but it's maybe not as well known. And again, this is something we want to keep getting the word out on, things we offer, because you may go to a dealer and you may not see it, but yet we build it. And again, you don't even have to special. This is literally just an option that you check. But it's basically a convertible table. I call it 2-in-1. But basically, you have your work surface situation. This is in travel mode. But if you want to work, at your desk, let's say, if you want to sit at it as a bar, things of that nature, or if you're having people over, or if you're just at a stationary point, let's say, you basically slide it out.
Wow.
You spin it sideways, and you push it back in. And again, this is the version that, my wife and I, just the two of us, here we go. We can sit at it, I can work at it, different things when we're in a stationary place. If we have friends over, under the bed, you've got fold chairs that match these, and you just, pull that out a little bit further, and now you have enough for four to have a full-size dinner.
Yes, sir, very versatile. I've never seen that before. I think that's going to be a popular option, and this is a new option for 2025?
It's actually not. It's been around for, I think, 2 years, actually.
Oh, wow.
I had it on my 24, and I believe it was an option even before that, but not well known. Again, these are the things that we need to make sure we're out there telling people and showing people as we go to different, having dealers stock them, or if we bring it to a show, we make sure we bring this to be able to show it off.
And is this only available on London Aire and up?
I think this as an option can be ordered in any of the Aires, New Aire up. I'd have to confirm whether it's available on the Dutch Star and the Ventana below that.
I think this is going to be really popular. When that pulls out, that reminds me of that bar style. I think we're going to be seeing more of these here in the future.
We will. And again, for people, we know people are working on the road. When it's turned, again, if you're set up to work on the road and you're just making a quick stop, keeping it this way, being able to eat at it as a bar, you know, super easy to keep your chairs here when you want to travel or you can work. And then when you're getting up to travel, you just swing your chair around, push it in, and you're back on the road. So again, we know with people working on the road more, this is going to be a popular option, to your point.
Talking about people working on the road here, a lot of people in the comments wanted to ask you about Starlink. Is that an option now, or?
So again, listening to our consumers, last year we were talking with them, we were hearing more and more about Starlink. This year we made it as an option where it's built in, so you check that box and you can have it built into all the coaches. That's not a high-end only, that's all the coaches have that option available. Again, half bath, pretty standard. Little dog bowl on the ground there. This is different in that we did the Summit white, right, throughout for the cabinets, but for this, I'll call it accent wall, my wife wanted to see almost like a furniture look. So we used the Morel or the Morel gray to kind of showcase it different than the rest of the woodwork. On this side, we've got the windows added. That's a special, not standard. Again, anyone can ask for it. It's just not something that is on every coach that we have. And then in the bathroom, we did the lower cabinets, different color than the rest of the white, something new. And then this was something we're doing for the first time as well, which is the slide door. We did that, again, from use. I'm a big proponent that we use our own stuff. My team knows that, they use them. When you'd be doing laundry with the bifold doors here, this door is in your way, so you can't go in and out of the room. So we said, hey, can we just make one that slides? Yeah, you lose access to one sink, but you still have access to the other. And again, much easier to flow in and out when you need to do your laundry.
Yes, sir, and I see you have the cathedral ceilings back there, and we had a chance in the factory tour to see the way the roof is put together and the way they fastened that cathedral ceiling and all the metal structure in there. Very impressive, the way this is all put together.
Absolutely. Again, that's the, I'll call it the Newmar difference. People like to ask, what are those differences? And we like to say, when you know the difference, it's the aluminum structure of the walls, 16 on center like your home is built. Same on the roof rafters and that. And again, I don't know if you got to building 46 or not where they build all that, but again, that's all built by Newmar craftsmen.
Yes, sir, we got a chance for your team to show us that, and
Great.
We'll leave that video of the factory tour in the description below. Definitely worth seeing all of the stuff you can't see that really makes a difference in quality. For 2025, what else is new? Any new options? Or?
Sure. So we talked a little bit about the cabinet color here, and we have the white Summit color, as we call it. We showed the Morel gray in the back there. We also have Sable and Sedona, which are two wood grain, dark and light wood grains, let's say. And one of the things we brought this year that was new to all of the coaches was the two-tone option. And so you can get your lower cabinet, let's say, in a darker wood, and then you can do the Summit white up top. And you can do that across this whole area and over on this side. So you get that two-tone. Again, we look at home fashions. I talked about the different places we look for design ideas. We need to be looking more at the home, and that's what we did. And from that, we basically said, why aren't we doing two-tone? And so we brought that this year across the line.
Newmar's always led the industry in interior design. I love the way they finish it out, but some of the viewers out there, I may not agree with all of them, but they want to know why you don't have more, futuristic designs like that Winnebago Horizon we saw about 5 years ago that was almost like a spaceship. Sure. Does Newmar have any plans to go super modern on anything?
So what I would ask them is to come in and look at our most recent designs. If you look at the Essex, for instance, we always had a traditional look of the Essex. Again, consumer feedback and also dealer feedback was we need a contemporary version. 2025, you now have both. You have a traditional and a contemporary. So hopefully that customer can come in and look at that and say, oh, I see now they've contemporized. New Aire and King Aire, very contemporary. So again, we think we have those things for the customer. This one is probably a little balance, kind of in between, and hopefully that's a good balance for people. And then again, we still have a very traditional options as well. Some of the things we changed cabinet fronts this year on a few of them, brought a little bit more of the flat styling and the simple styling. And again, we're looking at the home trends. Our interior designers do a great job going around to different shows as well as just keeping in touch with what's going on. So hopefully your customers who are writing in are coming in to look at the latest and greatest.
Yes, sir. We're trying to keep up with the latest and greatest. I have not seen the new Essex yet personally, so we got to get the camera inside of one of those Essexes to show that off. And then the new King Aires is just incredible, very contemporary, awesome styling. All right, guys, we see a RV celebrity just walked up outside here. Special guest, our good friend Theodore. How you doing? Good to see you.
Yeah.
So a lot of you may remember Theodore in a very early video. Was it about 5 years ago or so?
Something like that. Yeah. Trying to compete with a Newell or a Prevost. They only made, this is the second one they ever made, and they only ended up making 17 of them.
So what's the latest with you these days?
Oh man, well I'm actually living in Colorado right now. I'm working out at a prison ministry, working at a thrift store this summer, so I'm just back for a little bit, and it was cool that you're in town. I wanted to pop in and see you, but yeah, nothing much going on. Just became friends with Casey this last summer.
We traveled cool together, yep.
Yeah,
it was great.
So, yeah, I'm excited about the future of Newmar for sure.
And we've got some RV royalty in the house. Great to see you, Theodore. So now, are you still RVing? Is your family still involved in RVing, or what are you guys up to now?
So for sure, yeah, all of my siblings have RVs. My parents still have an RV, and we're planning a big trip next year, so we're still definitely involved in RVs. Traveled with Casey last summer, and my old one, the one in the video, I still have that unit. It's actually getting some work done in Oregon right now because I still want to keep that one around because it's pretty special. I don't have that one here right now, but yeah, still using it.
Very cool. We've got part of the history of Newmar family here, part of the future here. Having both of you guys here, this is totally not planned out either. But I want to ask both of you, what's the future of Newmar? First you, Theodore, and then I want to ask you, what can we expect in the future here?
Biggest thing I'm excited about the future of Newmar is just like the possibilities for expansion and what they can do with more funding and more resources. I'm excited about that, and just the different stuff they can come up with, not just a family. I think my family did a good job in getting it where it was at, but I think Winnebago and Casey are able to take it to the next step. So.
Oh, that's great, and I appreciate that comment. We basically talk about the 50 years, I'll say, that the Miller family made this company what it is. All great things to say. When I came, people asked, like, what are you thinking? And I said, my job is to get it 50 more years, right? How do you become a 100-year-old company, which very few companies get to 100 years. But that's kind of my goal. And to Theo's point, it's what can you bring in terms of new, like we're taking our engineering and we're adding new design elements, new possibilities for them in terms of the tools we give them. You saw the new paint, right? So the whole new paint system, again, that's an investment. Being part of Winnebago Industries, which is again another big question people have. Great part about that is Mike Happy's our CEO. He lets me run the business here. He lets Newmar operate as Newmar. But what he helps with is how are we better together? So where he brings funding or he brings knowledge of a central function that knows more, I'll just throw one out there. They might help us in an IT space, which they are. And again, that's something that helps us be a better company. So to the point of resources or expertise, we're bringing that in, again, trying to take our employees who 100% great employees. I can't say a bad thing about any one of them. We have great employees. How do we make them better? How do we develop them? Again, I mentioned continuous improvement before. I'll say those words a lot of times because again, just a little bit every day by the end of the year feels like a lot. You ask about the future. I'm not going to let anything out there that what we're gonna build next. We are working on things, so for sure keep your eyes open.
You know I'm going to be chasing you down to see what's newest, and really awesome to be able to spend time with both of you here today. Now, before we wrap it up here, if someone wants to purchase a new Newmar or a custom order, what's the best steps for someone to take?
Get in touch with a dealer, obviously. We sell through a dealer network. They're all around the U.S. and easy to find on the internet, as you know. Once they're working with that dealer, what we always say is if there's questions, the dealers know how to get a hold of us and bring us in. When we do specials, and again, I think I mentioned about 2/3 of our products are done as a special of some sort. support. We have people, Natalie Miller's one of our people who works with a lot of them. When it comes down to that last little like real detail, sometimes it may not get captured perfectly, and so she gets involved to make sure we execute it right for that customer. But again, going to the dealer to start out with, seeing what they have, and checking in with them first is always the best step.
Casey, I can't thank you enough for spending time with us today.
Really
appreciate you. And Theodore, great to see you pop in. Really great to see you as well.
We saw each other at lunch on Monday.
Yeah, we did.
And we took him out to dinner when we were in Colorado earlier this spring.
Yeah, that was pretty special.
We're going to see him again in another month when we go back out to Colorado. We're going to see him. So yeah, we became good friends with Theo about a year ago. We went to South Carolina.
Well, I'm looking forward to keeping in touch with both of you and appreciate everything both of you have done for the industry.